So I decided I'm going to make a video talking about Ghost Recon Wildlands. And at the very beginning, when this game was, when I seen the trailer for it and I seen a little bit of gameplay, the so-called gameplay for it, it looked really amazing. And I was kind of hyped, but then there was like, small talk of this here, small talk of this other kind of shit there. And I became very skeptical. Me as a person that has been playing video games for a very long time, I feel that it is my duty as a, video game veteran to be honest about shit. So I'm like, I can't always believe a complete hype. When I hear, oh, this game is coming out, it's going to be badass, I'm very skeptical when people say that, because it's not what you think, it's what I think, because I'm paying the money for it, honestly speaking. Obviously, let's say, out of 100 people, and let's say 70 of the 100 people get the game because they like it, then yeah, majority like the game. But there are still some people that have second thoughts, that will not want to get the game because it doesn't interest them, or they don't like a certain mechanic, or maybe they just don't like the fucking company or the brand. It's simple as that. That's why I always be very skeptical and question fucking everything when it comes to the gaming industry. And I'm not trying to sound here like, like I'm trying to start a rebel radio and talk shit about the gaming industry or anything. I love the gaming industry. They're the reason why I can entertain myself and have this wonderful hobby. But I have to say that, as a person that spends money, if you are a consumer, you have the right to bitch and complain. But I'm not saying you go and send death threats to the developer, or send them like messages of misfortune or something. No, you look at the game and do what I do. You look at a game and criticize it on every aspect, as in, you can say, okay, I like this, but I don't like this. This is where they can improve. This is where they can, they kind of overdid this a little bit, and just talk about it that way. So when the developer sees that potentially, they will be like, okay, so this is what we could potentially do to improve for the next game. And they can never hit 100% and get everything that everybody wants. They can't please everybody. It's impossible. But overall, when I think of Ghost Recon Wildlands, I think that the map is quite huge. I really like the aspect of the fact that you really have to use vehicles and helicopters to travel on this map. So when it comes to map design and map size, I have to give them props. They did a really awesome job on a map. The map is overwhelmingly huge. It's not just big, it's overwhelmingly huge. And that's what she said, but still, it's just, I'm very happy that the first time for a game like this, where it's a shooter, and it's almost like I kind of wish in a way they would have a loot system in this game, almost in a way, but they sort of do, but they sort of don't. It's almost kind of mystery. You can get weapon attachments and weapons in these like special, like you go into this like town, there's this like weapon thing icon, you can get certain attachments and parts. I think that's cool. There's a lot of scavenging like a scavenger hunt type of thing going on in this game. There's a lot of times you have that moment where you're like, oh, there's some guys over there, but you're on your way to an objective, but you see, oh, there's guys over here, let's take them out. And then you randomly park your car, like 130 meters away from those guys, and you sneak up on them and you just erase them, and then you feel really accomplished and you feel like a badass. And like this game, I feel that it is for more of you would say a mature crowd. Anyone that's over the age of 20 would consider this game kind of interesting, because the mechanics in it are a little bit more what we were used to back when we were younger, when we were 14 or when we were 13. And completely different idea of gaming, but it also obviously it's based on preference. I like the game for the fact that it's kind of like a third person that goes into a first person aiming down at sights, which is kind of really sweet. I think a lot of other developers should do that, especially third person shooter developers, maybe like even Gears of War. That would be something fucking cool if they did that, because I like the emphasis on accuracy in this game. Like, you really, like, when I didn't have a scope, I was like, fuck, I need a scope. I can't take these guys out from this fucking distance. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit them. a scope is necessary, and that's what's awesome about this game. That you know your tools are essential. You have to really focus on what weapons you want to use. You have to almost like know weapons, which ones are good, which ones are bad. You have to know the maps. You know how you have to sometimes even consider. We're kind of overwhelmed. Let's get the fuck out of here because there's too many guys, and it's okay to do that. So it gives you that realism that if you're overwhelmed, get the fuck out. If you're underwhelmed, just rush into that shit, like I do sometimes. So, in the gameplay, it's just me going to some really big town, which there's a lot more bigger towns, apparently, in this, like on the entirety of the map, which is really fucking huge. Like, the map itself is huge. They got different, it's huge. So overall, the game mechanics are not bad. I mean, I almost feel like they shouldn't even have fully automatic assault rifles in this game because I single fire like more than I, shoot fully auto. I have those instances, especially if I'm being bum rushed. But other than that, if I'm being sneaky and really try to sneak up on people, it's really 1 or 2 bullets, leave the chamber, and that's it. Then the guy drops, and that's what I like about this game. That you can have 100 rounds and you really could really conserve that ammo and just kind of relax and just take out guys with 1 or 2 bullets. And that's what's awesome about this game. I like it, but I feel like, honestly speaking, as much as I respect the map, I have to say it is kind of overwhelming with the amount of shit that you can do in this game. It's going to take me months to get about 25, maybe 30% done with this game, especially since I'm doing school and everything, so I don't have the abilities or capabilities to just sit here for hours on end and play this game. But I do like this game. I'm not dogging on it. I'm not going to hate on it. It is really actually it's its own thing. There's, I think, what was it, like 10,000 or 100,000 active players playing on the multiplayer aspect of this game, which I really don't like because it's either campy or snipers, and it's a little bit, it's too slow for me. I like a little bit more rushing. I became a rusher because of Call of fucking Duty. I blame Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege for me being, the ability of being a rusher, to rush people. I blame those fucking games for that, predominantly. Oh, and then obviously Destiny 2 has also made me more of a rusher because it's just fun to be an asshole like that, I guess. But this game, you just have to be really patient and slow, and the realism is like you're driving, you have an objective, there's going to be at least 10 guys, maybe 15 guys in that particular area. So then you have to park. Let's say I usually do about, the most I'll do is about 600 meters, which is like more than half a mile away, and then I walk there. And I try to find a high vantage point, use the drone, and kind of drone the area, mark all my targets, and then proceed to take them out silently and actually get the objective done without anybody even knowing I was there. And that's the aspect of, Ghost Recon Wildlands, is that's what I like. That's the thing I like. When it comes to DLC, ultimately, I want to get DLC because I know that there's, I think, 2 DLCs. Ultimately, when I have time and energy and money, I will get the DLCs, and I will probably end up posting videos. These videos for Ghost Recon, I'll post here and there. It's not going to be like an everyday thing. Occasionally, I'll post these videos, but I kind of wanted to introduce this into my channel. As anybody that does watch, my channel know that I do multiple different games and kind of, put my 2 cents in on every game that I play. And I predominantly play games within the shooter genre. That's the shit that I've always enjoyed very much, just because there's a tactical aspect to it, and there's that arcadey aspect to it. Like Call of Duty is like an arcadey aspect to it, where it's just leisure and and kind of like you want to snap your controller in half. That's what I associate Call of Duty with, is just anger. It's kind of like being addicted to like really bad drugs. That's what Call of Duty is. It's like you love it, but then you know that you have a serious fucking problem if you play it. It's almost like heroin. Call of Duty is the heroin of the gaming industry. It's as good as it might feel when you get high on it. ultimately it's really bad for you. I think that's a really bad like metaphor for Call of Duty, but it's kind of like you love it but you hate it at the same fucking time. That's kind of how Call of Duty is. This game, you know, it's kind of like I'll play it for a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll be like, I'll play a different game. Like my craving for that type of game it hits perfect, and I'm not mad at it. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, I played enough of this game. Let's go play another game. And I can settle, you know, after a while, I can go back. I'm like, let's play some Ghost Recon, you know. And I've always liked the Ghost Recon series. Ghost Recon Future Soldier was my favorite because I played the multiplayer and did very well on that. This is a little bit where the maps are too big, so I don't have that ability of being really good, and it's been a long time since I played a Ghost Recon game, so I have excuses. But anywho, I'm the Mint. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think, speed up the duration of the video, so it might look a little weird, but originally the video was 40 minutes. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and all that other good stuff, but definitely leave a comment. Peace.
Drone. Clear over here.
Pinche madre están al este, están fuera de nuestro alcance. Necesitamos un grupo que vaya tras esos güeyes.
Enemy reinforcements coming in. We're clear over here. God, these fuckers are sloppy. We ought to be able to find some intel around here. They're on alert.
¡Se quedan por aquí, cabrones! ¿Listos o no?
Mañana nos vemos entonces, pero ten mucho cuidado. Ahorita todo está muy peligroso.
That was fucking close. They're gonna see you. Hold up.
¿Qué pedo? ¿Ya llegarán las tortas?
Check it out. Got a location on a cocaine factory operating out of a converted slaughterhouse here in Okoro.
What are we waiting for? Let's go light that shit up.
Just one problem. The factory door requires a key code to open it.
So where do we get the code?
According to this, El Emisario's assistant has it. We need to track him down.